What is going on, my fitness coaches? Welcome to another episode of the Change Lives, Make Money Online Trainer podcast. This is the #1 show for online coaches who are trying to grow a successful online business. In today's episode, your boy is coming at you guys with some value, and I'm going to be teaching you guys how to write content that attracts clients like magnets. Now, before I get into today's episode, I just want to say a massive thank you, all right? I want to say a big thank you to all of my clients who invest in me on a monthly basis to learn how to grow a successful online business and who contribute to my community. I want to say thank you. I want to say a big thank you to all my podcast listeners. We're on track to do 80,000 downloads this month for the podcast. I'm incredibly fucking grateful. I'm incredibly fucking excited. And I just want to say thank you to everybody who's listening. I want to say thank you to you, all of y'all mother truckers who tune in on a regular basis to my live streams to get value on my Instagram and my social media platforms, on my TikTok. I'm just fucking grateful. So I just want to start off with some gratitude, and I just want to say thank you. All right. Now, guys, let's talk content creation, right? Let's talk about writing content. I'm going to give you guys so much value in this fucking podcast that you're like, how am I not paying this dude? And I'm also going to give you guys so much value in this podcast that if you are paying this dude, if you are investing in my program, you're going to be like, I fucking love my mentor. So that's the goal of today's podcast. We're going to get right into it. All right. So we're going to be talking about captions that kill. The truth is, I think that a lot of online trainers post content without actually thinking about it. They're just kind of like writing whatever's on their mind, or they're posting their meal or their workout of the day without putting a lot of thought, a lot of intention into their content. And so in today's podcast episode, I'm going to give you guys the frameworks and exactly how to write content that attracts clients like magnets. Now, the first part of writing content that attracts clients like magnets is the headline. All right. I want everyone to just write this note down. If your headline sucks, nobody's going to read the post. Think about it. We've all got short attention spans on social media, right? All of us have, we're just scrolling through. And so if your headline doesn't hook people, they're out. So you got to grab their attention. Now, the purpose of the headline is to draw the reader in. There's 3 different types of headlines that I like to write. I want you guys to write this in the comments. Number 1, the first type of headline I like to write is a headline that punches people in the face. Number 2, the second type of headline I like to write is a specific results headline. And the third type of headline that I like to write is I like to ask a question. All right. Now, the first line of any post needs to have a powerful start. And you can do that by punching people in the face with, I'm going to give you an example. You can also do that by talking about a specific result that a client got. You can also do that by asking a question. All right. If the first line sucks, nobody's going to read the post. So a lot of you are putting all this effort, all this intention into writing your content, but you're not thinking about the fact that you also need to make sure that you're putting effort into writing your headline and you're thinking through your headline. It matters. Now, if you're not good with this type of stuff, this is where you guys would ask for feedback in the Change Lives Academy or the $1 Million Mastermind. This is where we give you guys this type of feedback, all right? The better the headline, the better your post is going to perform. Okay, so let's talk about the first type of headline. The first type of headline is a headline that punches people in the face. There was a post that I wrote recently, and the first line said, I'm a fucking loser and I deserve to be a drug addict. I'm a fucking loser and I deserve to be a drug addict. That, boom, that's going to capture somebody, right? So somebody's scrolling through social media, that's going to smack them right across the face. I'm a fucking loser and I deserve to be a drug addict. It's the same. So for those of you guys that are, let's say you struggled with something, intense, like you suffer with an eating disorder, or you've also struggled with addiction, right? Like, I have an eating disorder and I can't put down the fucking cupcakes. Something that's going to literally punch people in the face. Every night at 8 p.m., I eat my feelings until I can't feel my stomach anymore. That's like a headline that slaps, right? So that's the first type of headline that I like to write. The second type of headline that I like to write is a headline that has a specific result in it. And so an example is, meet number 89 to hit $10,000 a month, Alex Sundar. An example would be meet number 224 to hit $10,000 a month, Sarah Gray, right? So it's like, I'm talking about a specific result that my client got. For you guys, it would be Sarah Jane lost 15 pounds in 12 weeks in my program. So specific results in the headline. Courtney Serrata gained 5 inches in her booty in only 6 weeks. So you're like, specific results that your client got in the headline, or a specific result that you got, but a specific result in a specific period of time. That's important, right? This is like Courtney Clark lost 15 pounds in 13 weeks. So like get specific with your result. The more specific that you get, the more that people's minds can conceptualize and actually visualize the result. And that is the goal when you're writing content, is you want to write content and you want to cause people to actually like visualize the result. Now, the third type of headline that you guys can write is a headline that asks a question. All right. So as an example, would you rather, I wrote a post and it was called, would you rather be rich or a king? When I was talking about like, are you like in the pursuit of like more money or more power? That was like the purpose of the post. So you can write a headline that asks a question, right? Have you ever tried keto before? Right? Have you ever tried intermittent fasting before? So like starting the post with a question is another way that you guys can start the post. Okay. So let's talk about how to write a post that converts. All right. Now, a post that converts to me is a post that tells a story. Now, here's where a lot of you guys make mistakes when it comes to writing your content, is that, in order for you guys to be writing impactful posts, and we're talking about posts that like move people. We're talking about posts that cause people to want to like reach across the street and be like, oh my God, like Danny, that post like hit me hard. If you guys want to write those types of posts, then you need to write posts that are relatable to individuals. And posts that are relatable have pain. Now, people need to be able to see themselves in your content, right? They need to be able to see themselves in your story. And that's what relatability is, right? It's when somebody can read your story and they can relate to it. They can resonate with it. That's when somebody's like, I resonate with this post. This post resonates with me. You guys see that kind of stuff on social media all the time, right? This post really resonated. What that actually means is I felt the emotions that were in that post. Now, the best way that you guys can resonate with your ideal clients is to get specific with your pain. And so the first part of the post, I like to call the painful beginning. Everybody write that down. So you've got your headline and then you've got the painful beginning. The best way to have a painful beginning is to get specific with the pain. To get specific with the pain. Now, when I say specific with your pain, what I really mean is like actual details. So here's some examples of getting specific with your pain. You can give like specific days that happen. Like, let's say you're writing a connection post. If you're in my academy, you'll know what I'm talking about here. Let's say you're writing a connection post. Instead of talking about like writing about a time in your life, write about a specific day that happened in your life. So specific days that happen in your connection post, like the night when you hit rock bottom, or a night that you binge ate, or literally getting specific with how many times you walked to the fridge on that night that you couldn't stop eating. Like that's the level of specificity that will really like resonate with people, when you can be like, I can remember the night when it was 9 p.m. and I walked to the fridge 4 fucking times and I stuffed my face to the point where I couldn't feel my stomach anymore. Like we're talking about specifics. Let's get like detailed in the graphics. Specific details in writing about your client's testimonial posts. Like as an example, whenever you're writing a testimonial post for your client, instead of just being like, Sarah lost 10 pounds, go to their fucking type form or their application or their DM script from when they enrolled and actually look at some of the things that they were saying to you when they first started. When my client Sarah first started my program, she literally sent me a direct message that said, I don't even think I'll be able to lose this weight. It's going to be impossible for me. 12 weeks later, she's down 15 pounds. Like if you guys can get super specific with the pain points in your testimonial posts, they're going to resonate on a very deep level. Now, you can also do like specific things that your avatar would do. As an example, like if you're writing a value post and you want to hit them in the feels where you're like, cardio is not the best way to burn body fat. Let's say that's your fucking headline. You like headline that slaps. And then you can say something along the lines of like, going to the gym, hitting 3.5 speed, 8 incline and walking for 20 minutes isn't going to help you burn body fat. So you get like super specific with exactly what they fucking do. And then they read it and they're like, oh shit, he's fucking talking to me. Do you guys understand what I'm saying here? So the more specific that you can get with your writing, the more that your writing is going to resonate. The more relatable that your content will be. Right? So another thing that I want to tie in here, you guys, is when you're writing about the specific pains, right? When you're writing about that kind of stuff, if you can attach negative associations to the pain, it's going to perform even better. So as an example, let's say that you're like, cardio is not the best way to burn body fat. Like that's like the headline that slaps. And you're like, Going to the gym, hitting 3.5 speed and 8 incline, walking for 20 minutes will not help you burn body fat. What it's going to do is it's going to make you feel anxious. It's going to make you feel like stressed out. It's going to give you a lack of confidence because you're going to be going to the gym, losing weight for maybe 1 or 2 weeks, and then you're going to completely plateau, which will leave you frustrated. See what I did there? I did headline, and then I feel like you guys are going to have to listen to this a few times. Headline, specific pain, and then I tied in negative emotions to associate with that pain. Do you guys understand what I'm saying? All right. So these emotions should be relatable to what your client would experience if they were going through that pain. So use words that your avatar uses to ascribe emotions related to the pain of the post. Does this make sense? Frustrated, lack of motivation, struggling with self-confidence, have no idea why it's not working, shit like that. Okay. So we've got pain, the painful beginning. And then the next part of a content that actually attracts clients like magnets is you need to talk about the rise of the hero. Everybody write that down. So the first part is called the painful beginning. The second part is called the rise of the hero. This is the part of the post that literally sells your client. All right. Now, what you do with the start of your content, with the start of your post, is you get them to buy into your pain and they relate to your post. And so if you write a piece of content that smacks them in the face and then they read through the pain point and they're like, oh shit, he's talking to me, right? Then they're going to get to this part of the post where you start to rise the hero. Because they saw themselves in your pain, they will also see themselves in your rise. So you get them to buy into the pain. Now they're relating to the post. And now you're going to write about the rise of the hero, and they're also going to relate to that because they related to the initial part of the post. Do you guys understand what I'm saying? This is when you're going to start to get messages about your content like, oh, that piece of content was super inspiring. The reason people say that is because when they can see themselves in your post and then they can see themselves in the rise of your post, they'll be able to see themselves rising up out of their pain, giving them hope that it can be possible for them. And guys, when you can write content that inspires, it's like content that smacks them in the face, but also content that inspires hope, that is content that converts. All right. Now, the key here, the same with your pain, is you need to get specific with the rise. Get specific. The key here is you have to attach positive emotions with the rise of the hero. Those emotions must be written in the parts of your post. So get specific. So let's say you're talking about a connection post. Get specific on how fucking good your client feels as a result of being in the best shape of their life. Right? Get specific on how fucking good you felt coming out of rock bottom if you're writing a connection post. Get specific with how good your ideal client is going to feel if they fucking implement the stuff that you talked about in your cardio post. So let's say you're like, cardio is not the best way to burn body fat. If you're the type of person that goes to the gym, walks on 3.5 incline for 20 fucking minutes at 3.5 speed, 8 incline for 20 minutes, you're literally wasting your time. You're going to end up frustrated. You're going to plateau in your fitness goals. You're going to end up feeling overwhelmed and burnt out because at the end of the day, your weight loss is going to plateau. Here's what you should do instead. Here's what you should do instead. Going to the gym, 4 to 5 times a week, strength training, working on improving the strength of your muscles and eating more food. Not only this is going to help you lose more weight, but once you figure out the right numbers, you're going to feel better in the gym. You're going to feel more confident. You're going to gain more lean muscle, and you're going to have to do less cardio because you have more muscle tissue, leaving you feeling confident, like beach season. You're going to feel the best you've ever felt. You're going to be in the best shape of your life, and it's going to be easy to maintain because you have strength and you have lean muscle tissue. It's going to feel incredible. So the start of the post, this is just me going off the cuff, by the way, but the start of the post is very painful. Like, don't do this. This is hard. Negative associations. And then the end of the post, when you're writing near the end of the post, is like positive, feel good, do all these things, and you're going to feel all these amazing benefits. All right. So you need to attach positive emotions to the rise of the hero. I'm actually, instead of just going off the cuff, I actually want to go through a little bit of I'm going to go through a little bit of a post with you guys. All right. So this is I'm going to talk about the rise of the hero. Let's see. All right. So this post is called "Have You Flipped the Switch?" So I'm going to read you guys through this post. All right. This post starts with a question, and I'm going to read through the whole thing. Have you flipped the switch? Instead of the academy, we host pod chats every Wednesday. It's a Zoom call where I record the podcast live in front of my students, and then after the students get to hang out with me and we just chat about their business. Yesterday, one of my clients came on and told me and Cole that he quit his job and he was pursuing online coaching. He's like, "Yeah, it's incredible, bro. I made one post on TikTok 3 days ago and I booked 3 calls after that post." I said, "That's amazing. My question is, since you posted that TikTok 3 days ago, how many TikToks have you posted?" "None," he said. "Online fitness coach, let me tell you the motherfucking secret to my success. I'm dead ass serious. This is it. This is the only thing that has every single time that has allowed my businesses to excel. Ready? Consistency." And then I talk about pain. 7 years ago, from being addicted to drugs, I was forced to be consistent in order to recover from my addiction. I'm rising now. I'm rising the hero. I carried that consistency for the last 7 years, and there's one constant in my business that never fails. It's consistency. I flipped the switch 7 years ago, and I made the decision that I was going to be absolutely phenomenal and that I would spend every single day of my life working towards my goals. I'm rising the hero, right? And are there going to be some days that are harder than others? Of course. I still experience overwhelm, anxiety, fear of doubt, fear of failure, self-doubt, but I stay consistent. In this client's instance, I told him that I'm pumped he booked 3 calls, but what happens after he booked 3 calls? He goes back to having no calls, but if he flips the switch and he posts every single day, rise of the hero, watch. Now he's got more leads to generate. Not only does he have 3 calls, but he also has more leads to interact with on the posts that he's consistently generating. If you want to be successful, you need to master consistency and you need to flip the switch. So you guys see what I did there? It started with a question, had a painful beginning, talked about my drug addiction when I struggled. And then as I started to rise into the hero, I started to talk about my journey and how I got consistent and how getting consistent benefited my life and how if this client got consistent, he would see a massive benefit in his life. Not only would he have more calls, but he'd also have more leads. He'd also have more people to interact with. He'd also be more successful as long as he mastered consistency. Does this make sense? Y'all feeling what I'm putting down? Y'all picking up what I'm putting down? Cool. Now, guys, there's 3 parts. I'm a very simple motherfucker, by the way. All right. If you haven't learned by now, I'm a very simple individual. You know, I've taken a lot of business coaching courses and been a part of a lot of mentorship programs and read a lot about a bunch of stuff about copywriting, etc. They always give you these like 9-step fucking frameworks and bullshit. I'm like, here's a 3-step process. All right. Let's fucking stay easy. This is also how my coaching program works. My coaching program is extremely simple. If you're in it, you know that. If you're not in it, you need to get in it. So the end of the post, so we've got the painful beginning, the rise of the hero, and end with the message of hope. End with the message of hope. Here's what that looks like. The best way to write posts, in my opinion, is one that encourages people to pursue their own goals. I like to write my posts and finish with a message of hope. Like the message is, if I can do it, so can you. If you're writing a value post for your client, it's like, I believe in you and I believe in you and like it is possible. If you're writing a testimonial post, the message is like, if Sarah can do it, so can you. I believe in you. You got this. I believe in you. You got this. You're strong. It's possible for you too. I like to end all of my posts with a message of hope. I believe that this message causes people to comment things like, I needed this. This is what I needed to hear. This is what I needed today. I'm feeling this. Thank you so much. I'm so inspired. Blah, 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 blah. We need to end with a message of hope. Guys, literally, this is a 3-step framework for writing fucking good content, all right? The painful beginning, the rise of the hero, and ending with a message of hope. It's literally that fucking easy. Now, I'm going to talk a little bit also about like my 80-20 rule. And so this is like the framework for writing powerful fucking content. And this is like a framework that I follow mentally without conscious awareness. Like this is something that I've been writing. If you look at my Instagram, I have 3,000 posts on BMarkFit and I've got 500 on the Real Brian Mark already. So I've been writing content for like 9 years. All right. It's been a long fucking time. And these are concepts that I have like burned into my brain that I do automatically and consistently. And these are just frameworks. And it's not like you guys need to use them every single time. All right. As an example, like not every post needs to be painful and not every headline needs to punch, but these frameworks should be applied like 80% of the time on your posts, because this is the type of writing that sells clients. All right. And don't get it twisted. If you guys are in an online coaching business, your goal is to grow your business. Like you want to grow your business. And so the more that you write content in this way, the more clients you guys are going to sell. Okay. So I don't want this podcast to just be like a podcast that you listen to and you're like, that's cool, Brian Mark. Like, Fucking thank you for all the value. Go do something with this shit, man. So I want you guys to use one of the 3 headlines. So one of the 3 headlines would be a headline that punches people in the face, or a headline that has a specific result, or a headline that asks a question. So use one of the 3 headlines. I want you guys to write a painful beginning, the rise of the hero, and end with a message of hope. I want you guys to write a post with this framework, and I want you to tag me in it at The Real Brian Mark, and I want to see it. All right. I want to see this version of, your content, and I would love to kind of read through it. So once you guys have actually made your post, I want you guys to tag me in it at The Real Brian Mark and let me know that you're tuning in. All right. So guys, that's it. That's all. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Hopefully you guys did get some value. Make sure you tell a friend about this podcast, first of all, if you're getting value. And if you're not in the Change Lives Academy, get your ass in here. And if you are in the Change Lives Academy, well, fuck, I love you. All right. Peace, love, and protein. Have the best day, everyone. We'll talk to you guys in the next episode. Let's go.